right, let's connect it up. February 2nd. We're good. February 2nd, 2020, Super Bowl Sunday coming at you. Walking Dead Season 10 Universe Series discussion, Q&A, Super Bowl talk, of course. Spoiler warning coming at you for, I don't know what people are going to ask, but spoiler warning for The Walking Dead show, comics, Fear the Walking Dead, all that stuff as well. If you're worried about spoilers, please stop watching now. But we're going to talk about the Super Bowl a little bit too, because it is Super Bowl Sunday here. If you watch that, if you don't, watch it for commercials. We'll talk about that as well. So I'm excited here. We'll go for about an hour. We'll be back next Sunday, every Sunday. We are 3 weeks, guys. We are 3 weeks away from the return of The Walking Dead. And it's awesome because it'll be here before you know it. I personally wish it was a week earlier because it's basically the last Sunday of the month and you're like, oh man, it's crazy how long it is. But I'm excited. We're getting there, guys. We made it to February. January seemed like the longest month ever. It's interesting that I just feel like after the holidays, really November, December, like some of the fun times of the holiday season or at the end of the year. And then January comes along and it's like a new start, new craziness. And The Walking Dead doesn't come back till February all the time, right? So I'm excited to talk about a bunch of different things. We'll talk about the Super Bowl a little bit because it's today. Well, I like the Super Bowl. I like football. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan and they are not in it because they are really struggling right now. They have a good team, but you know that's a whole other separate can of worms. Oh, we got the Chiefs and the 49ers. I'm just hoping for a good game. I'm just hoping for a good time. And I'm glad, I know Patriots fans, they're going to hate this, but we're all glad that they're not there. They've been there so often, too often, and it's nice to have two different teams. If the 49ers win, great. If the Chiefs win, great. I'm not really worried about the winner at all. It's just one of those things that I'm hoping for a good game. I got some fantasy, teams in or players in. I'm personally thinking that the Chiefs are going to score more fantasy points than the 49ers players. It could be more of a defensive struggle with defense of the 49ers getting to Mahomes on there. We'll see. But if the 49ers step it up, if the Chiefs, it's tough to bet against Patrick Mahomes for sure. So we'll see. The game starts at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is crazy to think it's going to be so awesome, so late. 6:30, probably 6:40 kickoff, whatever, and it takes at least 4 hours, at minimum 4 hours. So it gets done around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I was in Las Vegas a couple years ago for the Super Bowl, and it was great because that's 3 hours earlier. So when the Super Bowl got done at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, it was 8 o'clock in the West Coast time, and it was pretty sweet, but I had to fly back that same day. So I was like, I'm not wasting any more money. Take me to the airport. I sat there and then took a midnight flight back. It was crazy. So, but The Walking Dead, I'm sure a lot of people have questions. Like Bob Smith, what's up with the egg in The Walking Dead? I have no idea, Bob Smith. We have no idea. And a lot of people have a lot of theories and a lot of speculation and a lot of stuff. And it's crazy, right? Over the summer, when it's a super long break, it's the summer of speculation. When it's not the summer, it's the series of speculation. But it's really the series of speculation all the time for the show. I saw somebody post something in a group on Facebook, not our Walking Dead community, somewhere else. And they asked the question, is Daryl really dying? I need to know. I need to know specifics. And you're like, what? Hold the phone. Do you seriously think that Daryl Dixon is going to die, let alone die this season when we're getting season 11 for sure next year or this year into next year? There's no way, right? So, not sure. Yeah, Bob Smith, the A's have been popping up all the time pretty much since Scott Gimple. He might be like Scott A. Gimple, but it's Scott M. Gimple. But he has had the A thing going on for a while. It's been on clothes, been on signs, been on walls, been on this, been on that, been on helicopters, and we just don't know. We don't know what A and B mean. We don't know what CRM means. We don't know what PPP means. We don't know what so many things mean on the show. That being said, they have answered some things. They've had some plot holes. They've had some different things, and they've had some connecting points, over the years. But the big thing to me is that The Walking Dead returns in 3 weeks, which should be awesome. Season 10, Episode 9. I'm excited because it's one of those things that it's been a long time because we didn't have it in December. We didn't have any episodes in January. And we got to wait all the way to the last, basically, weekend of February for The Walking Dead to return. It's like, man. But once it starts rolling, guys, it's going to be Walking Dead year all the year. Walking Dead World Beyond, Fear the Walking Dead, Walking Dead. It's going to be crazy how much Walking Dead there is. If we can just make it a couple more weeks, we'll be there and we'll get there. And I'll be talking about The Walking Dead all year round, that's for sure. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, tell your family if you can, if they like what we do and they enjoy what we do here. I'm excited to talk about it too. But thank you guys for taking the time. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Hector, Renee, Rob, everybody, Arsenic Alley Cat, Mark, a bunch of people, my subscribers, my members. It truly means a lot to me. It really does. And I love talking about stuff that we love to talk about. The Walking Dead. Been talking about a little bit about the Fast and Furious stuff because the recent trailer came out. And I like Fast and Furious. I'm a fan of it, but it's one of those things where it's just over the top. And sometimes it's laughable of how crazy some of these things are. People fly through the air and they crash land on a car hood or a windshield and catch somebody and they get up like they're superheroes. I guess they are superheroes in the Fast and Furious world, but it's crazy. Arsenic Alley Cat Q&A. How do you think the main show will connect with World Beyond since the season premiere is the same day as the season finale? I would say loosely based, most likely, if anything, because I don't think we're going to get like The Walking Dead Worlds Collide when it was Morgan left The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 16, and went into Fear Season 5, Episode 1. I don't think we're going to get anybody like that. No one's going to be like, I heard about this community in Nebraska. Let's just go check it out, guys. And they just go ride their horses and they go there. That would be crazy. What if, I doubt it's going to happen, and I don't think it is, but it's a question. What do you think about if Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Eugene go somewhere on a trip? I highly doubt they would go from Virginia all the way to Nebraska on horseback, but you never know. And I highly doubt that that's where they're going for the connecting point with Stephanie, the Commonwealth. And I think the Commonwealth is just going to be on the show, the Walking Dead main show. And then the helicopter people are going to be the broad strokes of all the different areas. They were on The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and The World Beyond. I don't know what they're going to connect at all. It would be a nice connecting point if a helicopter comes back around the community and it has some sort of connecting point, because the helicopter people, CRM, are going to be clearly evident in the trailer of World Beyond, that we know they're going to see them this season. But the fact that we're only going to get 2 seasons of The World Beyond has me confused and has me wondering, what's the plan for that show? And why would you blatantly say it on Twitter that it's going to be a 2-season story, a Walking Dead story? Why even invest our time? Because we love The Walking Dead? Probably. We're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Not everybody watches Fear, and not everybody's going to watch The World Beyond. But they are smart to have The Walking Dead Season 10 finale the same day as The Walking Dead World Beyond season premiere, because it's probably just going to draw us into that story. Is it going to make sense? Is it going to connect? It's probably a nice thing. I don't know if it's going to make sense between the main show, and if anything, like Arsenic Alley Cat wrote right here, I still think it will merge with Fear. I think too. I think if anything The World Beyond connects with, it just makes sense that it's Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead struggles with viewers as much as The Walking Dead. You can love the show, you can hate the show and say whatever you want about it, but it doesn't get as many viewers. It just doesn't. It's a different tone, it's a different story, it's a different beast, it's a different filming, it's a different everything. It's slow, it's just all over the place. The Walking Dead franchise revolves around The Walking Dead show. It's the show and then everything else. But The Walking Dead is the main show, is the main focus of it. I'm thinking that Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead World Beyond can benefit each other in a way that makes sense. I'm not sure if it's going to make sense for the grand scheme of things, if it's going to work or not, but I agree with Arsenic Alley Cat, and I think Fear and The World Beyond connect at some point, especially based on their geographical location. Texas, Nebraska. It makes sense, right? We're probably going to get a little different aspect of season 6 of Fear. I really hope a major different aspect. I hope it makes sense with the communities. Ginny needs to go bye-bye. Far less, you can use the video camera. You can show them recording, but don't have this guy have a camera, and she has a camera, and they have a camera, and I'm going to put my life in danger for some camera angle. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to watch that. It was more annoying than it was really good. Eric Ariendo, hey Bri, Q&A, do you think Maggie will be back to save the day at one of the attacks from the Whisperers, or do you think she'll be back before the attack on Hilltop? I think she comes back at the end of it. I don't know when the attack on Hilltop actually is. Is it episode 14? Is it 15? Is it around there? I doubt it's the season finale, but the word is that Maggie could come back around episode 14, 15, or 16. Not sure if it's going to be that confirmed or not, but I think it's towards the end of it. I think she comes back probably around after the battle. If not during the battle. I'm not sure if it's going to be around there, but I don't think she comes before it. I just don't think it makes sense because they filmed a lot of stuff before the battle, before things, and then Lauren Cohan wasn't even seen around set, or the New York Comic-Con stuff didn't happen yet, and so it just couldn't be around that timeline. And maybe they filmed out of order, and they still could, but I would personally like to see if Maggie rolls up and takes out some Whispers and sees all these walkers and people like attacking Hilltop, her home, her place, where she lives, and she leads. And it just makes sense that I would love for it to be a thing that Maggie comes and saves the day in a big heroic way, because if we're losing Michonne, if we actually lose Michonne, in episode 12 is the early word, and it's been the early word for a while. It's not confirmed 100%, but it's just something that I think is probably going to happen because it just makes sense that she filmed and she's done filming and she's not going to make it to the end of the season. But if we lose her in episode 12, you still got episode 13, 14, 15, and 16. So you have like the first 4 episodes and then the last 4 episodes. So it's like Michonne, and then Michonne's gone. Who can come back? Maggie can take... I don't think she can totally get rid of... replace Michonne, because no one's going to get rid of Michonne. No one's going to replace Michonne. Michonne is her own iconic character. When you think The Walking Dead, you think Rick, you think Michonne, you think Daryl, you think certain characters, and Michonne is definitely one of them. Carol, Negan, for sure. So I'm not sure what's going to happen when Maggie returns, but I hope it's a big way. I don't know how to say your name. It's a bunch of symbols to me. When do you think The Walking Dead will end? Well, the comic already ended, so it's probably going to be done with that. That's for sure. But the Walking Dead show, I assume it's going to be episode season 12 or 13 makes the most sense to me. It just makes sense that it's going to connect and then run out of stuff and run out of steam. But we're coming up on season 11 later this year. They're going to start filming in a couple months, and that's a lot. 11 seasons of The Walking Dead, you couldn't ask for more. 12 seasons, 13, I think that's a great run. And it's already a great run now. There's shows that don't even make it to 2, 3, 4 seasons. And this is coming up on season 11. We got to be thankful for that. So, Rob K, I see a question. Do you think the CRM has any spies in any of the shows? I don't know if we're doing the spy angle again. It's a great question. I don't know if they're going to be there because I think CRM is its own big brother type of thing where they have a big community feel, where they come in, rule with an iron fist, take over, and that's it. You do what they do or they take you out, and that's it. And I don't know if they have spies to report back because that's a lot of manpower, a lot of resources, and I don't know if they want to do that angle, but they could. I mean, we've seen the spy stuff in previous, different areas with Dwight and Dante, and I guess if we get another character with a D name, Dante, Dwight, then, David, I don't know, Derek, I don't know, they could be spies as well, you got to be sure. So, Mellow Rider 703, please tell me Connie survives. I cannot confirm or deny that. There's been reports that she survives the cave, that she makes it to episode 14, she's in a cabin with Maggie, and then there's been reports that we haven't seen her film very much in the back half of season 10 at all. So I don't know what to tell you. I can't tell you yes or no Connie survives. I personally hope she does. I like Connie, but we just don't know. We don't know about Jerry. We don't know about Connie. We don't know about Kelly. I don't know. They got to be in danger somewhat because we don't know much about them. But there has been rumors and speculation that Connie survives and makes it to at least episode 14. Christian, do you think Morgan is dead? Definitely not. Morgan said it in season 8 of The Walking Dead, I believe. I don't die. So Morgan's not going to die. I doubt he's going to die. He's a big component of the show and the series and everything that connects. He was one of the original people. He saved Rick. He should be around for a while. I think that he connects somewhat with, if there's a spinoff, if there's a connecting point, and I feel like Morgan has to be connected with Rick in the movies at some point. If we don't have those nice fan service moments, it's a missed opportunity. No one's going to go watch these movies if they're not worth watching. I mean, people still will. You know, there's still, I think, 2, maybe 3 million people who watch, or households that watch The Walking Dead every Sunday. And more people watch it, most likely. They probably watch it through AMC Premiere. They watch it probably some other illegal way. But I think that it makes sense that The Walking Dead movies connect Rick and Michonne, Rick and Morgan. It just, I don't know. That's just me. If I was doing that, I think I would set things up. Because at the end of the day, the movies are extensions and branches of the main brand, The Walking Dead, and you want it to be a fun, rewarding experience. You don't want to be like, yep, that movie sucked. I'm not going back. If they're going to have 3 movies and the first movie's not worth watching, why would you go watch the other 2? It's just not. It's a good way to put a lot of money into stuff and not get the return. Because movies cost millions of dollars, and if they don't come back, I mean, if no one goes to watch them, they can lose money. Mark, Q&A, Bri, do you think Alpha knows that Dante is no longer alive? That's a good question. I don't know, because there's no way to tell, because I don't know when his last correspondence was within the tree with the notes, and I don't know if anybody knows, because the last time we saw it, Dante was alive, buried Cheryl, took out Sadiq, and got knocked out by Rosita, was captured in a jail cell, was killed by Father Gabriel, and buried and burned by Father Gabriel and Rosita. So maybe there were some whisperers that saw Father Gabriel taking the body there, but if it was wrapped in a blanket, they wouldn't know if it was Dante there or not. I don't know. That's a good question if it's going to get answered. It needs to be answered, right? I mean, it definitely has to be a thing where, what did Dante do? Did Dante dig around part of the sewers so Beta could get in easier, and he just needs to dig a little bit and then go through the grave? Or did he dig a major tunnel? Did he dig Cheryl's grave on purpose? Did he actually not kill Cheryl, and she's going to reanimate at some point? There's a lot of great questions that I hope are answered in the back half of season 10. Jackie, hey Brian, all. If Alpha doesn't die, hypothetically, in the trailer where she's bruised up, do you think Negan decides to capture her and hold her in a cell in Alexandria, and that's why Beta breaks in? That's a great theory. That's a great question, Jackie. I personally think that Alpha dies. That needs to be a rewarding experience for the viewer. It needs to be a big thing, a big moment. It's a comic moment, and we've had big comic moments come to the show, maybe remix or twist or turn, but ultimately it still happened. And I think that Negan actually does it. But would you want to see Alpha locked up in a jail cell? And then what happens with her? Does she break out? Does she live? Does Beta actually get to her? There's a lot of big questions. I mean, the show is the show and the comic is the comic, but that's a great question. Why do you guys think that Beta goes to Alexandria? Because he's breaking the border line. He broke it. I would assume it's to go after Lydia, Negan, or Alpha, I guess, right? Or I guess member of our group. So he's going after someone to take them out. Maybe it's Carol, maybe it's Daryl, maybe it's Lydia, maybe it's Negan. If it's Negan, it's probably after Negan. If he does, he kills Alpha, because Negan is a whisperer. He's not going to go back to Alexandria without a big moment like taking out Alpha, if that happens. But that's a great question. Arsenic Alley Cat, do you think they will show the breakdown of Paranoia and Alpha? For sure. We've already seen it in the trailer. We've seen it in some of the promo art. That's gonna probably what draws and drives Negan and Alpha's relationship, is Alpha's paranoia. The paranoia that we had at Alexandria is probably going to start to creep in on Alpha, because if Alpha was smart, she would just kill Negan. Or if Beta was smart, he would just kill Negan, because Negan's dangerous. We know Negan. The Whispers, they don't really know Negan. Negan's a smooth operator. He's a smooth talker. He's a politician. He can just get in there, talk about it, get people to question, wait, is Alpha right? Are the Whisperers right? Who's this guy in a leather coat? He talks a big game, but in a zombie apocalypse and in life, people like a big talker, especially if they back it up. And Negan can back things up. But that's a good question. Will the breakdown of paranoia in Alpha actually occur? I think so. I think we've seen it in the trailer when she's worried about people watching them, and Negan talking about spies, and I think that makes sense, that we can see that for sure, and that's probably going to be a big part of why Alpha confides in Negan, and Negan talks about Lydia, and Negan finds out that the whole situation with Lydia, that people think she's dead, but she's actually alive. I think that could be something to it for sure. Gary Page, Bri, do you think that Michonne goes into the room that is in the spoilers and they have Rick's clothes and gun belt and she recognizes as Rick's? They could have fly him there to begin with. I don't know if it's going to be so like blatantly that Virgil has Rick's belongings or Virgil has Rick's things or somebody like that is, because the question is does Michonne go after Rick? How, when, why? How does she get there? Does she find out about Rick from Virgil's people? There's a lot of good questions. I just don't know if it's going to be that someone tells them, yeah, you know that guy Rick Grimes? Yeah, he was airlifted by that crazy lady with the weird haircut. Yeah. And Michonne's like, what? Rick Grimes? How do you know about Rick Grimes? Is there another Rick Grimes? But I just think it makes sense, and the only possibility that Michonne never comes back to our group is that she goes one way or another of her free will, or she's captured to go after Rick. For sure. But great question. These are all great questions, guys. You guys asked some of the best questions, and I love the Q&A aspect of it because it's my time to be, real, with you guys and just asking stuff on the fly. And it's pretty awesome that you guys are being a part of it and asking some great questions. Let me see. Sorry. Jane Q&A, do you think Lydia will show up in the Whisperer camp, or will somebody leak that she is alive? I'd say the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. It's a good question, right? So I don't know because the Lydia angle is the thing that we just don't know. Lydia is on the Whisperer side as of season 10, episode 9. We don't know if she runs into Gamma, Beta, the Whispers, or Negan. I would assume she runs into Gamma and Gamma decides what to do with her. Maybe Gamma and Lydia go back to Alexandria together because we know Gamma goes to Alexandria. Gamma goes there to tell everybody about the group being stuck in the cave. Probably Alpha leaves with her torch, goes back to the group and tells the Whispers and tells Beta or tells whoever that, Gamma, I guess too, that the group's stuck in the cave with the Whisperer, with the Walkers, with the Guardians. And then Gamma's like, oh crap, that ain't good. And then she goes back the next morning and tells our group at Alexandria. And maybe in the meanwhile, she came into Lydia. I don't know. It's just, I don't think Lydia can't go to the Whisperer camp and it not be a problem. So if that happens, then I just don't know what the angle they want to do. But I think the Lydia angle is going to be connection with Gamma, Negan, possibly Alpha, and what's going to happen there too. So, how do you want The Walking Dead to end? Great. Again, I don't know how to say your name there. How do I want it to end? Probably with Judith, older Judith, like the comic ending, but with Judith instead of Carl. I want Judith to basically tell the story of The Walking Dead to her family, to the little kids, with her brother RJ being around, and the world, the zombie apocalypse is basically done. They don't have to worry about zombies anymore. The world is all about rebuilding stuff going forward. And I think that would be the best thing. And you have old man Daryl, dog, if, I don't know how big of a time jump. I don't know how the dog would live. Maybe a smaller dog, maybe a puppy or something. Daryl's got I don't know. So I could see it being a nice, I guess, happy ending. Hectorito, Q&A Hectorito posting, guys. Remember last couple weeks ago, he was like, I can't post. So got it under control. YouTube did it. So he's good. Hector's back. Q&A, do you think they'll bring back fan favorites for the Walking Dead movies, Beth, Glenn, etc.? I don't think the movies. I personally think the spinoffs. I think the spinoff possibility makes something that could happen there too. You could kind of do a situation. You can play with time a little bit more in spinoffs where you can have, the zombie apocalypse start. And I don't know if they're going to bring Glenn back because Steven Yeun doesn't want to come back to the show. He didn't want to do the little clip in season 9, episode 5 with it was supposed to be Glenn instead of Sasha, but I don't think Steven Yeun wanted to do it, and he might have been filming one of his other movies or one of his other, things, his commitments, so I'm not sure, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think the movies would be connecting points with, if they're going to bring back Heath, Jadis, Rick, maybe Morgan, maybe connecting point with Michonne, and down the road at the very end of the Walking Dead franchise, when the Walking Dead show is going to end, you still have the movies, right? So, forward with it. But, so I guess we'll go Super Bowl question here. Who do you think's going to win? Or who do you want to win in the Super Bowl? I guess it's two different questions, because some people may think they want the Chiefs, but they may think the 49ers are going to win, or vice versa on there too. Like, I personally think defense and running game is how you win in football. Defense wins championships. Offense and stuff can win games, but defense, it comes down to getting stops. I personally think the better team with the better defense is the 49ers. So if they step up, I think the 49ers are going to win. But again, I'm happy with just two different teams being in the Super Bowl today, for sure. I don't have a cable box right now, so I don't know if AMC is playing The Walking Dead, but it's always on Netflix if you want to watch that. I may watch a little bit on there too. I might watch a couple episodes to get my Walking Dead fix on there. I have my projector is how I'm going to watch the game on my projector today. So I got it set up last week because it was messing up with it on there as well. So I'm hoping that it works well. I'll have to do, after I get here, I get some laundry going and some lunch, and then I'll get set up for the game at 6:30, which is one of those crazy things. But I'm excited to see the game tonight. But James Hillenbrandt, who are you picking? I'm going with the 49ers are going to win, but the Kansas City Chiefs have a good chance, that's for sure. I'm not ruling them out. Mahomes is, tough, but in the Super Bowl, they're usually conservative, and if the 49ers get to a big lead, if they get up 14-0, 17-0, 17-3 in the first half, it's going to be tough for them to get stops on the Chiefs, to get stops to the 49ers, especially if they can run the ball. I think the 49ers defense wins it for them personally, and if Garoppolo can just manage the game and they can run the ball, I think the 49ers will win. I hope it's a good game. Some people are picking like a high-scoring game. Some people are doing this. But traditionally, it's not that many high-scoring football games are in the Super Bowl. It can be 24-20 or something like that too. So there's a lot of what-if questions. But the Chiefs are a formidable team. They can definitely throw the ball all over the place, and it's great. So Sunflower Beth says, Puppy Bowl and Kitty halftime. There you go. So Adam Ford, Q&A, do you think the Whisperer kidnaps baby Coco? I don't know. I think they try to, and I think Rosita stops baby Coco. I don't want to see baby Coco get in danger. And I saw a thing somewhere. It was a post on Facebook in a group that I'm in, and they said that the Whisperers are going around kidnapping babies. Okay, well, how many babies are there? Just baby Coco, right? I mean, I guess you have the baby that was Gamma's sister. So do they get into Hilltop too? Because the only baby we see is baby Coco inside Alexandria. So I guess they're trying to go in there and kidnap and cause problems. And I don't know what's going on with it, but I think that I don't want to see the Whisperers get baby Coco. They can try, but I hope that Rosita, becomes Mama Bear and takes out the Whisperer that's trying to do it. But I don't know if they're actually going to succeed or not. And then what are they going to do with baby Coco? Go outside and be like, ha ha, I got baby Coco, during the attack? Like, nobody wants to see that, for sure. So thank you, Sarah Nicole. Love the PT channel. I appreciate it, Sarah. Thank you for the super chat and all you guys taking the time to be here. And if you want to do super chats, you can just do that too. And all the proceeds come back to the channel. Just like if you pick up a book, my Fight for Us book series, and in 100 days, it comes back to the book series. It makes it available to me to make more time, to devote more time to do it. So the book series is 11 books right now, 10 books for Fight for Us, 11 all total because one for in 100 days. And Fight for Us is my baby. I'm finishing. My wife has to read book 11. She's on chapter 8, I think now, is what it was. So she has to read it do her edit, and I have to read it one more time and go through it, and then we'll have it ready. So this is the month, February, that I want to have it done. It should take a couple more weeks for it. I just want to make sure it's done right. And then book 11 is titled Access. It'll be out this month. And, I like the idea of you guys picking up a copy just because I'm excited to talk about it, and I'm excited for you guys to be a part of it. And some people don't like this series, and that's okay. But a lot of people, more and more people that give it a chance, are liking it. They enjoy it. They enjoy the series, how it's written, how it's portrayed, how it draws you in. It's, a zombie apocalypse story that has a lot of action. It's a little slow at certain points, but it's got to build up the story. So all of it comes back to the channel, to the book series, to keep it going on there as well. And, every book that's sold, I get a small percentage of it because it's just one of those things that, I have to pay the publisher and everything after the proceeds, after they buy it, and then they print it, and then it's shipped out through Amazon for sure. So Tommy says, what's up at the PT channel? So what's up, guys? Thank you guys for being a part of it, being a part of this. I love the idea that you guys are being here with me. Super Bowl is in 5 hours. Well, the start of it. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Shakira and J-Lo fan, but hopefully it's just entertaining for the halftime show. I'm not the biggest Maroon 5. They were there last year for the Super Bowl, but it's entertainment somewhat, I'm excited for it. So Andy Stewart, can you do a live stream during the premiere? I guess I could. I'll do it that Sunday at 1 o'clock. I won't be doing it online. I'm not going to be showing the episode on live. I mean, that's just a good way to get in trouble for it. I know some people do that on YouTube, and just like you're doing a live stream of someone's other content with it and just portraying. I don't know. I just can't do that and won't do that for sure. So Bokabi, Q&A. So how Jerry couldn't make it out of the hole in the trailer. What if Beta pulls Jerry down and we get a Beta versus Jerry scene? That would be amazing. That's a great question. I personally hope Beta has several more fights in him if he's going to be, fighting people. Hopefully it's Negan. Hopefully it's Daryl. Hopefully it's Aaron. Hopefully it's somebody. I would love to have been the Jesus fight with Beta, but, that didn't happen because Jesus is killed off. I missed the character for sure. And somebody asked me the question, like, who would you bring back on the show, and who had a missed opportunity, who wasn't like that great? I think Jesus is far better in the comic from every aspect, but the time is that Jesus was really just handled poorly in my eyes for so many aspects of the All Out War, and just different things that I think could have been better, and that would have been great. But if Jerry fights Beta, that'd be awesome. But I feel like I'd be worrying about Jerry the entire time. And I already am worried about Jerry now because I fear that he's going to get killed in the cave. And I don't want to see that happen. I doubt anybody wants to see that happen. He can get injured, but we haven't seen him in any other part of the trailer besides that part of the cave. So I'm not sure what's going to happen for sure. So we got here, man, people are talking about the Super Bowl and everything else on there too. Yeah, I mean, Adam, you say both teams have good defenses, and that's true, but statistically across the board, the 49ers have a better defense, better run stopping defense, and better secondary, I feel, all around. And the pass rush is, if the big thing is if you can stop Bosa and the pass rush of the 49ers, and I don't even know if you can stop them or slow them down a little bit, because it may be a long day for the Chiefs offense if they can't. Jackie Q&A, about the space spore reference Kirkman mentioned recently regarding the cause of the outbreak. We know he's joking. He jokes a lot, but could that possibly be a link to the satellite that Eugene took apart? For sure. It could definitely be a space spore connection with Space Junk, the song, with the satellite from the most recent season 10 with the Russian satellite. It also could be connection with the Russian cosmonaut on Fear the Walking Dead. So I think it's a connecting point that makes sense. Maybe he's trolling, maybe he's lying, maybe he's saying whatever, but space, a spore out of space, could be a connecting point with sci-fi, other zombie stuff that basically started there. I don't know how it would infect the entire world, because if a space spore comes down, I guess it should have been space spores, like it could have been constant radiation from space that came into our atmosphere and we were breathing it in unknowingly and it changed certain aspects of our DNA. But ultimately, a space spore would just come down. Maybe it even burns up in our atmosphere. It lands. Someone gets infected by it. It gets contained, hopefully. I don't know. It's just overthinking it, I guess. But I kind of have to do that because I have my own origin of the zombie apocalypse in my own series, and it has nothing to do with space or any of that stuff. But I like to think about it a little bit too. And it's fun discussion. Thank you for the great question, Jackie. That's for sure. I appreciate that good stuff here. Brian Wortham Q&A. Have you seen Connie's? Con IES? I don't know where Bob Smith says, can we get a pic of her? I don't know what some of these questions are, but thank you guys for taking the time to be here. We're going to go for another half hour or so. I appreciate you taking the time for it, but I'm excited to talk about The Walking Dead all year round, and I do. And The Walking Dead goes on breaks, but we have a bunch of talking to do about different things. So maybe it's slower over the summer, but I don't think it's going to be slow summer at all because we're going to have The Walking Dead World Beyond, and then we're going to have Fear the Walking Dead. And I hope it's not like pulling teeth for content because, Fear the Walking Dead, it has its good things and its bad things. The people love it. People hate it. I'm a realist with it. It has its good moments. It has its good things. It has its connecting points with CRM. It had its connecting points with beta. And it had certain connecting points that were entertaining. But that being said, I don't know if it's going to be an awesome season 6. Hopefully it makes sense with Sherry and Dwight and Ginny and Morgan and however it makes the connections with going forward. I hope so, right? Hectorito for Q&A. Any thoughts on the awful coronavirus started by the Umbrella Corporation in China? Well, I shared a thing on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram about the coronavirus. The lab that's in China has a similar umbrella, the umbrella logo from the video games and the movies of Resident Evil. The Umbrella Corporation is like an umbrella, the symbol, and it's got red and, white there. In real life, I don't even know the name of the corporation that's supposedly linked with the virus or something. We don't know. It's all alleged. It's all things we don't know, but it's green and white. I mean, it's crazy, right? So Umbrella, for those who don't know, in the Resident Evil started the virus that really started all the zombies and the zombie apocalypse and Raccoon City. Corona is an anagram of raccoon, but Corona, it's called Corona because of the crowns of bacteria that are seen on the microscope. So that's what it said. People are like, why is it called Corona? It has nothing to do with the beer and it has nothing to do with that too. But every year I feel like it's something. We have H1N1, swine flu, bird flu, this flu, that flu, coronavirus, that thing. It's like every year it's something. Like literally every year. Like I didn't do the research on it, but I feel like every year it's something that comes out. People are worried about it. It's just like, is it made up? Is it made for us to worry? Is it legitimate? Should we worry? You just don't know. Is it fake? Is it something that's blown out of proportion? I don't know. But if the coronavirus is killing people in China and there's, it's branching out more and more and more and more, and it's actually killing people, then it's not good. I mean, regardless of what it is, it's just not a good thing, right? So make sure you wash your hands. You should do that anyway. It's not because of the coronavirus is around. Wash your hands. Take care of your universal precautions. If you're traveling in spots like that too, wear a mask. Don't breathe stuff in, and just listen to the people that so you don't get, potentially contaminated or infected. But I don't know. It's like, man, I don't want to be around any of that stuff either, Like I don't like flying because of that stuff, because you're breathing in the recycled air and you're touching stuff and you don't know what it is. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. I'm like, I don't know what to believe with it. Is it causing a problem here? But when we have stuff that's coming out of places and it's killing people and it's not good, when travel bans and problems with getting over there and coming over here, and I just don't know. It's not a good thing. And then you see the potential connecting points over there with something that connects with a fictional universe of Resident Evil. And I love Resident Evil. I played Resident Evil 1, 2, I didn't play Veronica. I played 4. I didn't play, I played certain series of it, Nemesis the 3, and I played the remakes, and I played a bunch of those things. And, it's like, is it fact or fiction about the Umbrella Corporation thing in, China? I don't know, but it makes you think about it for sure. For sure. So hopefully you guys will have a good time tonight. I don't know if people are going to be taking off on Monday, but the word is that after Super Bowl, it's one of those things where you have to be ready for work on Monday, and the game's on so late. I don't know why the Super Bowl couldn't be on 4 o'clock, 4:30, 2 hours earlier. What difference does it make if it's on at 4 or 5 o'clock instead of 6:30, right? Because West Coast time, it would be on at 2 o'clock. You could do that. You could have a Super Bowl party at 2 o'clock, 2:30, People would be doing that anyway. They'll be doing that anyway, too, right? So, I don't know. It's on super late. I'll probably be talking about it tomorrow in one of my videos on Monday, but I got a video coming up later this week about Fast and Furious, a thing on there too. We have some other stuff. They have a small little clip. There's more and more clips and more information is going to be coming out for sure of the Walking Dead back half of season 10, because it's one of those things where we get closer and closer. We've already got a trailer, so I doubt we're going to get another trailer. Maybe we get a trailer that looks similar. Maybe there's a couple little differences in there, but they do throw in a little mixes. It's a trailer, but they change out a couple different spots for it. But I know that the Walking Dead has had 2 little clippets, well 3. They had a little clippet of Daryl outside of the cave when the walkers were coming out of the cave. There was one with Virgil and Michonne, and Michonne's looking at something. I guess they're inside a house, and Virgil comes out behind her and looks at him. It's kind of creepy. I don't know if Virgil is someone we can like, can trust, if he's good, if he's bad, if he's got a secret agenda, if he kidnaps Michonne or not. But I feel like the Virgil character was put there for a reason, and I'm wondering if it's connected point with Rick and the movies for sure. And the most recent one that came out was a weird one of Alpha, Walkers, Whispers, and I believe Beta's behind her, and they're singing. Like, we are the end of the world, and, another thing, and then it's over. And it's a quick little thing. I think it's like 10 seconds. So I have, a couple little breakdown of those, and, it's tough to really have anything besides just watching it. So I don't know what to really gather any of that information, but I don't know what's going to happen in the back half of season 10 100%. I just hope it's nice and it's awesome and it's entertaining and it builds for the future and it's action-packed. Season 10A was a little slow at certain things, certain spots, but overall it was pretty good. And, the whole cave thing needs to go away. I think that needs to go away in season 10, episode 9. I think it needs to go in a good way for it. I think it needs to go in a building block for the Walkers, the Whispers, Commonwealth, Rosita, Father Gabriel, Eugene, Stephanie, Rosita, and if she survives or not, Ezekiel and Carol, is there a thing? We'll have to see. So, but I'm excited to talk about this for the rest of the year, talk about a bunch of things here too. And I love being part of the community. The community is something that I've had a lot of good times with, a lot of good people, some trolls, some problems that comes around with anything, that's for sure. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here too. So, I don't know what's up with Daniel Garcia, but, gonna have a little problem there. So let's get that guy out of here. But ultimately, guys, you can't really troll stuff here and, get away with it. And that's not okay. That's not cool. But I appreciate the guys taking the time. Also, earlier this week, I hit 5 years on YouTube. I am excited to be going on for another couple years. I don't know what the future holds 100%, but 5 years ago, my life was in a totally different place. It was in a total different area, some good, some bad, but, I can just tell you that every day, every month, every year that goes by is a learning experience. It's one of those things where you're one of those people who you are. It's changing people for the good, for the bad. Experiences make you who you are, and I wouldn't be able to do this awesome channel, to write a book series and do half of the things I did if my life was different 5 years ago. I'm not going to get into specifics on there as well, but so many things happen for a reason, and it's one of those things where we might not know exactly at the time why it's happening, because I'm not sure why people why good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. That's not for me to decide, I guess, but I have to just roll with the punches. It's one of those things where I'm excited to, look back on it, and that's what you should do from time to time. If the zombie apocalypse started today, you would have nothing but time. And you would probably, it sounds probably great on paper, but if you don't have electricity, if you don't have the ability to go get food and go to the grocery store and go to get fast food or make something or get the things you need to have to live, it would be terrible. Now, that being said, you wouldn't have to go to work anymore, right? You wouldn't have to do anything like that. You could stay home. You could just live in your house. And, right now it's wintertime. You might have to burn some stuff to stay warm, but ultimately you'll be able to get around and do whatever you wanted. And that's really the goal in life, I think, too, is the freedom to do what you want. I always think about it as like, I would love to have the ability to do what I want, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And there's a lot of things that I don't even want to do. Having a YouTube channel has a great flexibility of it. And over the 5 years, I've learned a lot what to do, what not to do, what not to put in thumbnails, not to spoil it. I remember I was talking with a couple people recently about season 6. Well, season 6 into season 7. Remember that summer, season 6 finale, rolling into season 7? That was a crazy summer. A lot of people were coming to YouTube to wonder about who did Negan pick? Who did Negan kill? And it came out over the summer, from the Spoiling Dead fans and a couple other spoiler groups, that it was going to be Glenn and Abraham. Well, Abraham and then Glenn. And it was one of those things where like, wow, that's crazy. And we found out pretty early over the summer. And not everybody wanted to know, but everybody was spoiling it and saying all these things and coming out on there too. And myself included, I was getting excited to talk about it. And it was just one of those things where I was like, wow, that kind of sucked for people who didn't want to watch it or didn't want to find out. They wanted to watch it without knowing. And we found out and it happened. And it was one of those things where like, wow, that kind of changed things for a lot of people. And one of the executives, I believe, I'm not sure who said it in an interview. I didn't really click on the link, but there's an article going around or several articles going around that someone from AMC said that they lost a lot of viewers when Negan really took over in season 7 because of the hope. It was really hopeless for our group. They gave Negan too much power. Negan was doing too many things to our group to come in, killed a bunch of characters, took a bunch of weapons, took over Alexandria. Negan and Simon and the group really could do what they want, when they wanted to do it, how they wanted to do it, and they were just too powerful, and we weren't used to seeing that. It was like a gut punch, and we're like, whoa, that's, don't know how it is, right? You're like, man, I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but it was not the right thing to do, and I wonder if they changed things a little bit here and there, and how the show and the thing would be different today. I don't know what it's going to be for the future of the series down the road, and if things are, going in the right direction, but I'm excited for it. I definitely are too. And, a lot of people are still, I don't think they're ever going to get over Glenn and Abraham dying and Carl dying. I don't think people will ever get over that. And some things, it sucks. Like, I'm a big fan of older Judith, and I don't know if we had Carl, if we get that character or not. Maybe we have an older Judith, but it's not such a character like Kaylee Fleming because she brings a lot to the show. And I don't know if it makes sense to have both of them or not, but it would have been nice. I think it would have been nice to have Carl and Judith on the show because in the comics, Carl survives and he's to the very end. And in the comic, Judith dies at the prison with Lori. So that's not even a possibility for it. But again, the show is the show and the comic is the comic too. So I definitely like the idea of that. So we got Jason McKay. Thoughts on World Beyond series as means to inform us on what's to come in the Rick Grimes movies. What about the final scene of World Beyond being of CRM soldier Rick Grimes? That way the show bookends. That's a great theory. That's a great thing. But Rick Grimes is not going to a TV show. He's not going to The Walking Dead. He's not going to Fear the Walking Dead. And he's not going to The Walking Dead World Beyond. He's going to be in the Rick Grimes movies. Walking Dead, Rick Grimes movies. He's not going to be on the show ever again unless it's towards the very end of the series or unless he changes his mind. Right now, he's not going to anything of that. But maybe the movies are connected with that on there too. I don't think we're going to get CRM Soldier Rick Grimes. because Rick Grimes is most likely a prisoner. He's probably healing or healed. And what if he has a cane and we have old man Rick walking around and he's walking around and he's walking around? And that's the way we get old man Rick, is that way. Because in the comics, he loses a hand and he limps around after getting wounded and basically injuring his knee and leg, and he limps around, and he's not really the same, badass fighter that we would have, like, Daryl or anything. But Rick is a character that is going to be connected with the movies, and I don't know anything else on there, but I do like that theory. But again, that's a good theory. There's a lot of theories, a lot of speculation, a lot of talk, a lot of stuff that goes around, and people take it as theories. Some people take it for what it is, but more and more people are going around saying all these different things, and it happens all the time. It's not just now. It happens every year, and it's like, man, I don't know what to believe, because don't know how, unless it's a credible source, and it's just one of those things that I don't know where it is, and you just have to think logically. Why would they do this? Would they do this or not? And we'll have to see. Hector Q&A, would you like to see Clementine's story in the World Beyond? I wouldn't mind seeing the Clementine, Telltale Games story some way, shape or form, but I don't know if it's going to be connected like this. To me, it could be its own story. It could be its own spinoff, and I think people would watch it. Some people would draw people in. The Clementine story arc would be cool. Maybe she was there in Nebraska, and she left with a group, and maybe it's there if they ever want to do that or not. I don't know what their plan is there. That's a good question for Scott and Gimple, but I don't think Clementine's story is going to come into anything that we have right now. But we'll have to wait and see. But The Walking Dead is going to be back in 3 weeks, guys. That's awesome. It seems like so far away, but it's so close. It's like right there. We're in the month that The Walking Dead returns. And it's great because we're going to get February, March, April, and then we're going to get World Beyond in April, May, June, and it's going to be there. And then probably Fear the Walking Dead will be in June or July. And then it's going to come back in October for The Walking Dead. We're going to have a lot of Walking Dead once it gets back. And I'm excited to have it because I really like the idea of the universe expanding in the right way. Too much expansion or watered down expansion of stuff is not good in my eyes. It's like Walking Dead, but it's not. If it's just Walking Dead in name only, there's got to be quality assurance. There's got to be, certified Walking Dead, because there's got to be a level of it. Like Nintendo certified, like certain things, good quality. We inspect it, we sign off on it, and we're good. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens down the road, guys. That's down the road. I'm not sure what's going to happen with, we have to watch the first season of The World Beyond. It could suck. It could be terrible. If you're like, good, it's only 2 seasons. It's going to be terrible. But I hope they learned what not to do. And I hope that it makes sense at some point to connect the 2 shows and build upon us. But that's not our decision. We just have to watch it and see how it goes. Alexander Romero, Q&A, do you think the stadium and or Proctor John from Fear the Walking Dead could be related to CRM? Proctor John was a thing in season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. For those who don't know, he could come back or not. That would be great, but he's going to be on Fear the Walking Dead. He's going to have nothing to do with CRM people in my eyes. But I want to know where Crazy Dog and Walker are more than Proctor John. But Proctor John was a decent villain, but he was only around for like half a season. He wasn't really involved at all much after his couple episodes in season 3. And I'd rather have Proctor John than Ginny any day of the week. That's for sure. But Proctor John could come around. Why not, right? It would be interesting. I think he could be a villain that needs to happen there too. It just, I don't know. But so Andre Stokes, who is Kidmark? Skidmark is the cat that Daniel has, the orange tabby on Fear the Walking Dead. It's Skidmark. But James, do you think Dog will ever meet Skidmark? I don't know. That would be crazy, right? That would be a nice thing, but I don't think so. I think Dog and Daryl are Walking Dead. Daniel and Skidmark are Fear the Walking Dead, and they never will. But I don't know. We need more animals on these shows, right? I think there would be animals all over the place. Unless they really were devoured by a bunch of walkers. But, I'm really glad they didn't go the route of zombie animals because it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know. It's kind of on the cheese factor. I'm glad they didn't make Shiva a zombie tiger. That would have been a little much. Adam, Q&A, do you think there's a good chance that they're oversaturating the Walking Dead universe and will ruin the show? The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead. To me, there's The Walking Dead and everything else. You can't ruin the Walking Dead show unless it's The Walking Dead show. The Walking Dead has no bearing, or limited bearing, I guess I should say, on Fear and The World Beyond. And I guess the Rick movies, we'll see. Like, it's The Walking Dead and then branches off of there too. But The Walking Dead is the main thing. I don't think they're oversaturating it. I think that if you do things in a different way and you have different stories is what they want to be. You have The Walking Dead and the Fear and the world. It's connected loosely in that universe. But Fear is its own story. The World Beyond is its own story. The Walking Dead is its own story. CRM is the global things that connect it, the three rings that connect The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and The World Beyond. The three rings, the three shows, bing, bada, boom, there you go, right? It's one of those things that I just see the connecting point there of the great thing connecting it. But overall, guys, we had a good live stream today. We'll go for a couple more minutes for it. I appreciate you guys taking the time. I'm excited for the Super Bowl tonight. It feels like kind of like something's back. The Walking Dead will be back in 3 weeks, and I'm excited to talk about The Walking Dead for everybody involved. And then I'm excited to see. All right, I don't know what's happening here, but I have a connecting point with that. I can't really see the chat. I don't know what's going on with my screen, if it's going through or not. I don't know what's going on with my timer, so I'm not sure why this is doing what it's doing, but sorry guys. But I can't see any of the questions for some reason. There we go. Oh, it came back now for me. I don't know if the scrolling was up. But Jackie, do you think Sherry is one who saves Morgan? Yes, I do. And eventually the rest of the group? Yes, I do. I really don't like Ginny either. I don't either. Ginny needs to go. I hope Sherry comes back in a big way and saves the day, because if you read the comics, or even if you don't, Sherry runs the sanctuary after Negan is gone. And she becomes kind of like an evil villain dictator, like, okay, the Whisper War is going on and Sherry is running the sanctuary, and she's kind of like, oh, we can take over things. If the Whispers and the Walkers take over Alexandria, this is our chance. I would like it if Sherry comes and saves the day. It would be nice to see Sherry being a bigger part of it. I just want Dwight to find Sherry, and then they can go on with the story however they want to do it, because it doesn't make sense for Dwight to keep looking for Sherry and trying to find Sherry and getting notes and not getting notes and finding her and not finding her and not this, and then we don't know. But hopefully just finds her too, for sure. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with season 6 of Fear, but I doubt Morgan dies. He can't die, right? I mean, he's one of those characters that's important. He's important for that show. I hope that John survives. We didn't really lose anybody. There's certain characters that can go, like Luciana. I'm sorry to say, Luciana fans, but that character was like a badass in season 2, and then this and that, and then Nick went away, and then she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know this, and then I'm with the kids, and that. It's like, what are you doing? Just get rid of some of these characters. The sad part is, if we lose characters on The Walking Dead, if we lost Jerry, or we lost Michonne, or Daryl, or Carol, or certain characters, I'd be upset. Be like, oh man, that stinks. But the bulk of the characters on Fear, if they aren't there, I'm okay with it. If they're killed off, sad to say, it doesn't really matter to me that much. But I know that The Walking Dead is its own beast, but I do like some of the characters on Fear. I like Morgan, I like John, I like June, Alicia. Certain characters have grown on me a little bit, but I think it would be interesting to see if we get some story. Like Strand, he's okay, but he hasn't really done anything that's like, oh, I like that guy. He's just been there. He's just been hanging out there too. My man Lincoln K, Q&A, what part of the trailers so far make you the most excited? Also, what part has your curiosity the most? The most exciting thing is probably, when it jumps out at me, is the battle at Hilltop. The fire, the morning star, the morning flail, whatever you want to call it. The mace that he has, that Daryl has. The fighting at Hilltop. I really hope that should be pretty awesome. Is it actually Alpha with the flaming arrows? The curiosity to me is who makes it out of the cave. Like, you don't see Jerry. You don't see Magna and Connie except in the cave. That's the only time you see them in the trailer. So who makes it out is my curiosity. Like, what's going to happen there? The lack of Lydia in the trailer too, like, I guess it's more so the lack of things more than what we're actually seeing. Beta inside Alexandria. So there's a lot of things that have my curiosity. Like, a lot of things have me wondering, like, what's going to happen here? What's going to actually build up? And that's what a good trailer does. It draws you in and makes you want to watch. And I know where I'm going to be later on this month and the rest of the year watching The Walking Dead for sure. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Happy 02/02/2020. It's a palindrome of a date that I don't think will come around for a long, long time, if ever again, with certain dates. So ultimately, thank you guys for taking the time to be here. Hopefully I answered all your questions. I'm excited for The Walking Dead to return in 3 weeks. I'll be back next Sunday for sure. Thank you, Sarah, for the super chat of $2. And I hope that you guys will check out our live stream next Sunday. Enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully if you're betting, just be smart with it and not above your means, and have a good time. And hopefully you win some money too, if you're betting. But hopefully thank you guys for taking the time to be here. I'll be back next Sunday for a live stream. I'll have more videos this week coming up for sure. I'll be doing more things with different videos coming up, but definitely when The Walking Dead is back, and once we get more information and theories and discussion topics, we'll be posting more and more and more videos. But thank you guys for taking the time. I truly appreciate it. I know I say it a lot, but I truly do. And I want you to feel like I truly appreciate it, because I do. And I know when people are at work and at jobs and in relationships, when they don't feel appreciated, it sucks. And it's like, you're taking me for granted, but I don't. I don't take any of you guys for granted. My subs, my members, my subscribers, everything. It means a lot to me, guys. So I think we just hit 88,200 subscribers. So we're coming up on that. We still need about 12,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll get it this year. We hit 100,000. That'd be amazing. We'll be doing more prizes, giveaways on that too. We'll be doing some prizes. We'll be doing some giveaways for my members. I'll be doing that probably in a couple. It's hard to say. I don't want to give a date because I have a couple things. I have to get a couple gift cards together, and then we'll do a thing of how we can win. Maybe it's a random thing. Maybe it's this. But my members, and then outside of that, we'll have my subscribers have the ability to do that. So thank you guys for taking the time. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and staying true to yourself. Blocking out the haters is also a thing. There's going to be those, especially when you're doing big things. There's always going to be haters. But enjoy the game tonight. Walking Dead is back in 3 weeks. Join us next Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys, and see ya.